Yo, what up everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is William, aka Wilster. Homeboy over here about to get a ticket for fucking up. Yeah guys, check it out. Today's a very cool day. I hit a big milestone with food deliveries. I want to tell you guys all about it. So you guys know I'm multi-app. I use two apps. I use DoorDash and Uber Eats at the same time. You know, I do that because I double my money that way with almost the same effort. But I hit a milestone. So I've been doing this for 2.5 years, and I finally got to 5,000 trips. Check it out. So with what is this profile? So let's check it out. With Uber I got 4,000 trips, and with DoorDash I got 1,000, so over 5,000. So that's pretty dope. I'm gonna tell you guys why that's super cool right now. Let me just grab this food. Hold on, I'm here to pick up for Rob. Where the hell is the name at? I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Oh, Postmates. Terry, oh, that's not. Okay, guess it's not ready. But we get a little coffee actually. The order isn't ready, so help myself with a little coffee. Yeah. Just real quick, just chug it. Get a little boost of energy for the day. Milks for a little diarrhea. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Got the foods. Bounce. Oh shit, I'm stuck. Let's go. I got another pickup with Uber down the street, but first I'm gonna drop this one off. It's on the way. Let me chug this coffee though. Oh my god, it's so bomb. It was like half coffee, half in milk, and like 2 packs of sugar. Check it out. That wear and tear. No bueno. Starting to chip. I'm gonna just put a bunch of electric tape on that. It should hold it up for a while. Alright, I already know where I have to go. It's on this street, so I'm just gonna slowly ride on the sidewalk till I get there. But yeah, so guys, I have over 5,000 deliveries. Over 4,000 on Uber Eats and over 1,000 on DoorDash. Now, I've been doing this for 2.5 years, but like for half of that time, I had a full-time job as a bike messenger, and I would do this part-time, either during my other job or after work. So I kind of took this as a little extra income, but then I didn't like I got kind of I just didn't want to do the bike messenger job anymore, because I saw that if I did this full time I can make more money, which was very true. So I quit my job and I started doing Uber Eats full time. I was already signed up for DoorDash, but I didn't use it. I only used it in the beginning. Then the whole scheduling thing threw me off, so I stopped doing it. I just did Uber Eats because it was easier. I could log in anytime. So after a while, Uber Eats just wasn't cutting it. So I was like, let me start experiment. Well, it was doing good, but it wasn't great. I was like, let me see what I could do with doing DoorDash. So then, like, I think it's been about a year where I've been doing both apps. Well, Uber Eats and then DoorDash. When did I start doing DoorDash? Maybe like 6 months ago. I've been doing both of them at the same time. That's when when the money changed. But anyway, the point of this video is after 5,000 trips, and 2.5 years of doing it, part-time then full-time, then multi-apping, I want to show you guys what I've learned. What have I learned in these past 2.5 years? And after 5,000 deliveries, all done by bike. There's maybe like 1 or 2 where I was really tired. I didn't want to ride up a hill, so I rented a little scooter, which was pretty fun. Got a little taste of the e-bike business. Wait, where am I going? Oh, okay. I think it's here. It's probably here. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about the stuff I learned. Now, some of the stuff I learned, I could literally talk an entire, like for a whole day I could talk about it, but I'm just gonna go through every little thing that I've learned briefly. Then later on, I'll kind of talk more about, in other videos I'll talk more in depth about some of them, because some of them are very important things that I've learned. Like I said, it could be a whole lecture of this thing. Uh-oh, there's no one here. Oh, it's open. Sweet. All right, let me lock this up. Just forgot. Usually I take it inside, but just gonna do this real quick. Anyway, let me do this delivery real quick, and then I'll get back to it. Yeah, check it out. The new GoPro looks dope. Looks like a police officer body cam. Looks cool, right? I like it. Big titties. Alright, well, let me just jump right in while I wait for deliveries here. I had an Uber one, but I took too long with this other deliveries that I just kind of canceled the other one. That way some other rider can go get it. You know, if you take too long before you pick up the food, it's good to just kind of let it go, because then, you know, it's a lot of wait time, and yeah, well, rider will probably get there a lot faster than you. Wow. Okay guys, so check it out. I'm gonna jump right in. So what's the things I've learned from riding 5,000 rides in 2.5 years? So first thing I'm gonna start with is this food delivery business is booming. It's growing. It's definitely bigger than when I started. There's more demand for it, particularly in my city here in downtown LA, and I would think in any downtown LA area it's growing, because you see like new buildings getting built, new residential skyscrapers and luxury apartments, and you see cranes all over the place. That means that there's new housing here and more people are moving. Particularly in my area, I've been working in downtown LA for like 8 years now, kind of on and off, and I've noticed a significant change. It didn't used to be like this, where a lot of people walk around. It used to be empty. People avoided downtown LA because it was dark and scary, and the alleys were all fucked up, and there were always a lot of like homeless people like walking around. It was just sketchy. There used to be a lot of gangsters here. I mean, there's still a lot of homeless people, but they don't mess with you. At least it's rare when it happens, but that's because they're all on drugs and stuff. But this business, the more people live in one place, naturally the more demand there is going to be for food. So that means more businesses start opening up, more restaurants, more markets and stuff like that. People are just ordering food. There's more people, more likelihood of the business going up. And this whole food delivery thing, you know, it used to be just pizza and wings. You know, you remember, like, I don't know about you guys, but I remember I was calling on the house phone and ordering pizza. They'll give you the 2-liter. Like, I remember that as kids, and that was it. I don't remember any other food being delivered. Maybe that's just me, but now you can order anything off your phone. And there's multiple apps, multiple platforms. There's different companies around the world. You know, this whole smartphone thing, and with internet access, it's new. It's new. It's fairly new. It's only been around for like a decade, like with these typical smartphones. So this business is definitely growing. I've noticed a difference. There's a lot of demand for it. It's always growing. They're always building this in new markets. It started just in downtown LA, then it slowly started spreading around LA County. LA County is huge. So this is definitely not gonna go anywhere anytime soon. So it's a good business to get into because there's money in it. It's not going anywhere. Until automation gets mastered, then maybe we'll have to worry, you know, fucking drones dropping off the food and shit. But even then, it's not always ideal. It's not always gonna be a perfect situation. We're always gonna need people for certain shit, like, and I think this delivery business for sure will be in demand for a while. So definitely booming. I'd like to talk more about that in another video because I feel like we can get into depth. So maybe you can kind of talk more about like the area you live in, or the different areas that people live in, and the demand of the business there and stuff like that. But yeah, that's definitely one thing I'd learned is how this business is growing crazy. And I tend to always learn how to make more money. So some's happened and then some's happened right. So anyway, here's another thing. You know, when you start riding, I know there's a lot of you guys that ride bikes. I'm talking about not like e-bikes or stuff like that, but I'm talking about like physical, like no motor or this stuff. It gets easier. It gets easier. You get better. Your legs get stronger. You start finding better postures for you riding the bike. You know, it gets more. You're gonna change the little things around your bike, and it's gonna get better over time. So I know sometimes when you start, you're like a little discouraged. You might get tired right away. Like you might ride for like a couple hours, maybe in a few miles, and you might like be burnt out. But that's normal. But as with anything, when you start working out, you know, and you start working on certain muscles, you know, you don't get tired right away. You know, it might not be as strong, but over time, you know, you practice, you work out, you just keep pushing yourself a little more each time. Eventually, you're gonna be able to ride 8 hours a day like me and still be cool. Like I'm good right now. I could ride 8 hours. I could ride 10 hours, 12 hours, and I'll be fine. I think what eventually happens with me is I get exhausted and mentally. Like I don't want to be out here anymore. Like at the end of the day, sometimes I like calling my friends so I could have a conversation with them. You know, you're on your own here, so you kind of lose your shit when you're not talking to people. I mean, yeah, short little conversations here and there, but like, you know, you want to get your little social thing, and you know, we're social beings. We like to socialize and talk to people. Actually, filming, editing kind of lets me talk, but I don't get to listen to nobody. So that's till later in the comments and messages that you guys send me, which is super cool. I enjoy it, but you know, over time, it's not even about the physical thing. You get really good, and it's more about mental things. So I think I need to do a little more mental exercises actually, so I can stay motivated the whole day. But I mean, 8 hours is a lot to be riding your bike out here, but it's definitely physically not as challenging as when I started, and that's huge. So if you're getting started, just, you know, push yourself a little more every single time, and you're gonna get way better at it. So that's definitely another thing that I learned from all the deliveries. Oh yeah, another thing, it's kind of related to the last one. Once you start riding a little more, you also get more control of your bike, which is important. You kind of become one with the bike, you know. You build a lot of muscle memory, and you know, like, you know, I think a lot of guys, I've seen a lot of people tell me that I ride recklessly and it looks like I ride dangerously, and then, you know what, I can understand why they think that, but believe it or not, I have a lot of control of my bike. Like I have not been in an accident, I have not been hit, I've hit nobody. The times that I have, it happened one time when I was on a sidewalk and a Prius rapidly turned into me, and I could have avoided it, but I was not paying attention either. That person was on their phone, I was on my phone, So the Prius kind of hit me in the back tire. Nothing major, but it kind of just tapped me in the back rim. I got off, I was okay. My bike was okay at the moment, at least I thought it was, but then later I realized that it was kind of bent. But anyway, the control you get after a while, it's good because you can avoid stuff. You can, you know, for me, the brakes, I know how to stop really fast, which has saved literally my life a few times. These fucking brakes. But you have more control of your bike, and that's important for your safety. So, you know, over time you're gonna understand your bike a little more. You're gonna know how to maneuver it a lot better, increasing, you know, your safety and your comfort and all that. That's definitely something I learned, and you know, you guys should definitely keep an eye out for that. It's beneficial. Here's one thing I've learned, and this is gonna do different for some of you guys, but it's crazy because I only recently learned about this a few months ago, and I've been riding on LA for years and years. But it's legal to ride your bike on the sidewalk. Let me say that again. It's legal to ride your bike on the sidewalk, just as long as your bike is fully human powered, meaning no e-bikes, no motor bikes, no motor scooters. Like those electric scooters are actually illegal to ride on the sidewalk. But so yeah, obviously there's a few things you gotta look out for, like the law says you can ride on the sidewalk, but you need to have willful and wanton. If you have willful disregard for the safety of persons or property. So in other words, if you're riding like a douchebag on the sidewalk, right? If you're riding like that on the sidewalk, and you ride on the sidewalk going really fast, and you know, like running into people and just recklessly, right? Then you're gonna get the attention of law enforcement, and you almost like you get a ticket. But since, you know, once I learned that, I got a little more comfortable. But I also made sure that I'm not riding really fast on sidewalks. And you know what, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it happens. Sometimes I'm riding really fast on the street, and then there's a lot of cars, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let me steer away from the street and go on the sidewalk. So then sometimes I don't really pay attention, and I'm like still riding fast, but I need to slow down sometimes. But for the most part, you know, I tend to ride slowly on sidewalks and cautiously. I always have my hand on the brakes, in case, you know, someone opens the door, a pedestrian comes around the corner, you know. Fortunately, I've never hit anybody, and no one's ever hit me, like as far as like those scooters or another cyclist. There's some close calls, but I don't think in any of those I was at fault, because I'm always very cautious, or at least it wasn't me the one that almost crashed into somebody. Like, but yeah, I've learned that it's legal, so it's an upper hand, because like in downtown LA, there's a lot of one-way streets. So here, for example, if I want to go back this way, like earlier, I was riding on the sidewalk going back that way, instead of having to go all around, which saves time, and you don't have to worry about getting a ticket. So there's that flexibility in Los Angeles. But if you guys are maybe in the outskirts of LA, it gets a little complicated with other cities. For example, LA County is big, but in LA County there's a lot of other cities. Like you got Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Long Beach, and those laws may change. So if you guys are in one of those cities, you guys might want to double check. But as far as downtown LA, I learned that riding your bike is all great as long as you're in a douchebag. So under 10 miles an hour on the sidewalk. Oh, definitely picking this up. Oh yeah. So I got 2 pickups. I got one at Denny's and I got one like a block away. Dope. One is like a $10 order and this one's only like $5. So yeah. Here's another thing I learned. This was more common sense, but I got used to not locking up my bike like at all. At one point I had lost my U-lock and I wouldn't even lock my bike up. I would just try to have my bike with me at all times, or try to make sure I always have my eye on my bike, you know. But inevitably, guess what happened? Someone took off with my bike when I had it parked in front of a restaurant. I was literally like 3 feet away from it on the inside of the restaurant. There was a big glass doors, and you know, I was just kind of in the restaurant looking at my phone, kind of looking up at my bike, checking up on it once in a while. Then eventually I looked up. Excuse me. You locking up? Or are you taking off? All right, taking off. So I was I looked up and I was like, oh damn, like this guy has a bicycle just like mine. Then I realized, holy wait, that shit is my bike. So I run out, this guy's already kind of taking off, and I'm just running after him. Clearly I wasn't able to catch up. This guy was gone. It sucked too because in the process of running, my headphones flew out. I dropped something else, I can't remember. But not only did I lose my bike, I lost the lights on my bike. It was nighttime, so I had my bike's lights on there. Lost my headphones because someone picked them up, took them. It was bad. So now I got the habit of like locking up my bike every time. So like I said, it's common sense, but just make sure you do it. Check this out. I just realized the pickup time is at 11:31. It's 11:18, so I'm a little early. But check this out. This order has 27 items. It's a 210 order. I'm gonna do it. I was thinking about canceling it, but you know what? I think this is. I'm kind of up for the challenge. It's let's see, 12. There's 13 drinks. That's the challenge, but I can carry 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, I can carry for sure 7 drinks in my backpack. No, 5 drinks in my backpack. 2 in each pocket on the side. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Damn, she got caught shoplifting.
Keep your hands on me, I forgot.
Shut your ass up. I can record whatever I want, bro. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. What you gonna do about it? Yeah, exactly. You didn't do shit. Then she got caught shoplifting. Hi, Erica. There's so much happening at once. All right, Dan, she got caught shoplifting. You guys are over here tripping, saying me I cannot film. Well, check it out. So 7 drinks, 6. So I got carry 5. Well, how much is it? 12 drinks, 13 drinks total. 5 in my backpack.
They're kind of behind the ball.
2 on each side in each pocket. That's fucking 9. So I had to figure out how to carry those other ones, but I think in the cup holder of 4 in the bottom, I think it could be done. How exciting. And then the food, they're just in bags, so I'm pretty sure I can squeeze all that food on top. And actually, if they're all the same size drinks, I can put them in the bottom, the drinks, and then with the weight on top, it would excuse me, the weight will hold them down so they don't move, so it can work. And I have the Scotch tape to tape the drinks so they don't spill, so that would work. All right, let's do it. This is gonna be the biggest order. Here's a good thing too, and the payout is $9.50, which is not a lot. But with these big orders, for example, it's 210 bucks, right? I've noticed that with big orders like that, with DoorDash, if you know, usually they give you a percentage of the amount afterwards. So yesterday I had one like that. It was a lot of items. I'm across the street. It was a lot of items, so the payout was like $9. But then after, it was like $15 for the delivery. But then afterwards, I got an additional like $10 tip. So it's like a $25 order. And the amount for the food was only like $100. This one is 210. So definitely something that I'm willing to put a little time into it, figure it out, see if I can get that payout. But I'm gonna drop off the Denny's one first, which is right down the street. Once I drop this off, I'm gonna come back. Hopefully by the time I come back, it's ready. And then we'll see what happened with that girl that was caught shoplifting, you know? Then depending on that, then we can see what's going on in there. See, that guard wants to talk shit. All right, cool. Anyway, which one was I on? I forgot what I was talking about. All right, I'll go on to the next thing on my list. I do have a little list of what I've learned. Shit, you know, one thing I have learned is you're always learning in this business. Always new stuff going on. Okay, it's like on grand, sweet. Here's one thing that I learned is the gig economy business, or just independent contracting work. It gives you a lot of freedom because you choose the contracts you want to accept, you know, or which ones you want to turn down. You have that freedom to choose, which deliveries you want to do or not. Particularly in this business, I'm always picking and choosing which deliveries to do, what city to work in, what apps to use. Yeah, you get a lot of freedom. Also freedom in just basically, you know, you're out and about. You're like your own boss. You could do a lot of stuff while you're working. Like, for example, I'm filming. I'm here, you know, listening to podcasts. I take breaks whenever I want. I can basically go anywhere I want after a delivery. So it's pretty cool. You set your own schedule. There's so much freedom. And I can go on forever about that. Versus, you know, a traditional job. And even the rules that you have while you work certain jobs, like Uber and Lyft drivers, like you also have the same amount of freedoms, but you deal with people. So like you're riding with people and you have to worry about, you're with them a lot longer. Like here you just deliver food. In the car you're with them longer, you're interacting with them. There's more of you're driving them around. There's more of a liability. You can't really just be talkative all the time. Some people don't like that. I know, because I've gone in Lyft drives and I just don't feel like talking sometimes. Anyway, the customer ratings are very important. Jobs, you know, some jobs have rules. You gotta wear uniform. There's stuff like that. So definitely a lot of freedom doing this type of business, which I love a lot. I learned to really enjoy it and appreciate it. That it kind of like ruined it for me as far as getting a traditional job. It just doesn't compare. It's like I don't want to go back to it anytime soon. But you know, yeah, this freedom is unmatched. Alright, so I'm delivering here. Let me get back on it right now. So I'm headed, it's 11:28. I'm headed back to the DoorDash pickup, which is supposed to be picked up at 11:31. I'm gonna go offline with Uber Eats. And I got a $2 tip. And so I went offline. That way I could just focus on this delivery until I finish. So it's a pretty big order. I don't think I'll have room for another delivery. But we'll see. I mean, in case I can't take all those things, I can unassign from the dash, which I can afford as far as like my percentage. I think I'm at 98% right now. Let's check. Ratings. I'm at 97% completion rate. Now for me to keep my early access scheduling, which is crucial for me, I gotta be 95% and up. So if I unassign from this, it wouldn't put me below the 95%. I think it might go down to like 96 point something. It tells you too. Let's see. Dash. Turn to dash. I look up and down when I'm doing this quite a lot. I wish you guys can see my eyeballs. They'll look down at my phone and then up, or they go. I'm trying to crash. All right. So let's see. If I unassign, 96.9. Not bad, but obviously not gonna do that just yet. First, I gotta see if I can actually do it, pull it off. Hopefully I brought my scotch tape, man. That's gonna be very crucial right now for the drinks. All right, we'll see. So check this out. So she's filming. All right. So another thing I learned is, for at least for me in my particular situation, I'm falling in love with these disc brakes. I don't think I'll have any kind of other brakes for this kind of job, because I do like to be able to stop rapidly without so much effort. I know with traditional brakes, you gotta have to like kind of pull these brakes really hard. With disc brakes, it's like you don't put much, you barely tap them and they're very snappy. Especially when the disc brakes are new, they're so snappy, the brakes. Now that's important, because when I'm like, you know, things just pop out of nowhere. Car doors. I've almost been killed by doors, but I've been able to stop on time. So disc brakes are amazing when it comes to stoppage power and gears. I learned how helpful gears are for me to be able to like use my energy efficiently throughout the day. Like without gears, if I'm like a single speed bike, which I've used before, I can't do hills, and I like to move the brakes, the gears around depending on my speed, kind of like a stick shift car, to, you know, save energy throughout time. That way I can be out here riding all day without being super tired by the end of the day. So gears and disc brakes are a must. Like I wouldn't ride without it. What's up, brother? The must. That's another thing, but you know, that depends on your preference. That's just my personal preference, and I wouldn't ride without them. Like if I ever change my bike, mandatory gotta have disc brakes and gears, otherwise I wouldn't even consider it. All right, so I'm back here. It's 11:36, about 5 minutes after the pickup time. Gave them enough time. They should be picking up the food already. I mean, they should be have the food ready. So now it's gonna be the ultimate test. Can I carry 27 items, including 13 drinks? I'm pretty sure I could do it, but we're gonna put this backpack to the test, and also my Tetris skills. Like, you know, I gotta find out how to like drop everything down in the backpack so it's solid. Whew, this is gonna be fun. It's these three here plus the drinks. So very doable. Just gotta start putting everything together. Oh, okay, I think the drinks are here on the side. All right, let's do it. All right, so this is the easy part. The hard part is gonna be the drinks. Are they here? Okay, that's there. All right, cool. Why is there only 2 drinks? I'm gonna ask right now. So I have 13 drinks here. First things first, I'm just gonna cover them so it doesn't spill. Well, at least to minimize the spillage. There's still gonna be some spillages. I just hope it's not too much. This should be easy for them to take off. Because it's literally a hole there. I think they're trying to prevent straws from straw usage. But this has a big hole on the top, so I'm gonna really try to keep this balanced the whole time. So I'm just putting the tape on. I haven't even started putting this in the backpack yet, but I think it's very doable. 100% there's gonna be a little leaks, but I can handle a little leakage. And the drinks are gonna be at the bottom, so they won't get on any of the food. So let's do it. I think I might just put them on top and cut this out, or get some scissors. We'll see. Work it out right now. Thank you. Alright. So this is the food. All the food right here. This is gonna be the easy part. This is in. This is all like utensils and shit. Doesn't take up much space. Bam. There it is. It's all in here. The only thing I gotta worry about now is this drink, which I'm just gonna carry. I'm gonna carry in my hand. There it goes. It's all in there. I don't need this. I'll give it back, and then we're ready to go. So I was able to put all those drinks in my backpack. Well, except for this one, because it was 13. If it would have been 12, it would have been perfect. But yeah, it's 12 o'clock right now, so I was in there for like 20 minutes. I was waiting for the food. But yeah, let's go. So now I just gotta go literally like 7, 8 blocks. So the only challenge right now is making sure I don't move around so much, because these are all the drinks. They're like this in the backpack, which is gonna not spill as much, but I just gotta make sure I don't like do any rapid movements. We should be fine. But it's a test right here. It's just this is the only one that's I'm more sketched about, because I'm gonna probably have to put it on my cup holder, which might open, and I don't want to hold it in my hand, because if I do that, I could crash. I can just say, hey, -1 drink. We'll see. We'll figure it out. That's really the only one I'm risking, so I gotta write gently so I don't I don't spill that shit. But everything's good so far. All right, we are moving. Oh, excuse me, man. We're moving, son. All right, the drink on my bike is cool. The drinks on my backpack are good. They're leveled. All right, this is gonna happen. I have made it. No spillage. My backpack is dry. I'm here. I just gotta go upstairs, and it's mission success. Oh, I can't wait to drop this off. Made it.
Where is it from?
It's from Mendocino Farms. And drinks. Bam. Success. That was totally worth it. Check it out. The base pay was $3 and the tip was $38.11. So I got a $38 tip, which is like, I think that's a record for me. That's so dope. It was worth it. I didn't spill not one drink. I got all the food intact. Everything was there. 27 items. What's up? Damn, man, that backpack, I'm telling you, that backpack is a miracle. It's a miracle maker. Guys, so damn, yeah, that was a pretty dope ride, and I'm glad I did it. Went pretty well, which brings me to my next point that I've learned doing this business is you have to invest in a good, well, I recommend the backpack. You guys saw I just carried 13 drinks. Well, 12 in the backpack, and all the food. It was 27 items in total, and that delivery itself paid $38. This backpack's worth, this backpack cost $60, $70. Just with that, it paid half of itself off. So yeah, this backpack has enabled me to be able to carry anything, kind of be ready to tackle any type of pickup. And I have been able to do it successfully so far. It's also helped me like keep my ratings high, because you know, you keep the food hot or you keep it cold. You know, in the eyes of your customers, when they see you deliver with this backpack, they understand. I mean, the way they see it is you took your time to invest in something good like that, like a big old backpack to keep the food good and warm or cold. So that looks good on your part. Yeah, so you won't be able to shy away from orders or deliveries, because I know a lot of people that do turn rides down because they're not equipped to carry a lot of stuff. They might have like a smaller backpack or a front rack. Front racks are not good for drinks. It shakes a lot. Same thing for back racks. Except back racks, you can't even see your food, so you don't know what's going on. So definitely investing in a big backpack, you know, to make your job easier, keep your ratings up, and make more money and tips. So definitely something I'll say you guys, I'll recommend. I'll leave a link down in the description with the backpack that I have, along with a website that has a bunch of other backpacks, but I'll put the link particularly for the one that I have that I recommend. But yeah, man, that was fun. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous at first. I was like, damn, am I gonna be able to pull this off? But I'm so glad I did, because now if I ever see items like that, I'm gonna be like, challenge accepted. Let's do it. Let's keep this going. I got a lot of topics to cover. So here's another thing. One thing I learned about this business is that apps are always changing and they're always updating constantly, especially now that this new law passed here in California. Uber has made the most dramatic changes since the AB5 law. So I'll give you an example of some of the changes. Before, Uber wouldn't allow your customers to tip you, at least not in the app. Of course you'll get cash tips, but that will be it. Uber Eats then eventually rolled it out, and I've noticed Uber Eats always rolls out things when they're under pressure. They don't really do it because they care about their drivers. They do it because they're under fire, or you know, in the end it's gonna benefit Uber for sure. But there's also changes, like, you know, before you weren't able to see the drop-off location with Uber Eats. You weren't able to see how much you were getting paid up front. You had to wait till after the delivery. What else? Uber Eats has you, wouldn't before, at least not to my knowledge, make you take pictures of your face to make sure that it's actually you riding. They started doing that. One thing I experienced too is Uber started revealing the dropout location, then they stopped. And then they started doing it again. So, you know, those type of changes really do affect how much money you make. It's hurt me before. It's really messed me up. And apps are also different with each other. They have different types of updates. You know, laws change and the apps have to adapt to the laws. So definitely not something that's gonna stay the same. There's always gonna be new things that the apps are gonna come out with that generally they help you out. But sometimes they can hurt you. Like, for example, with DoorDash, in order for you to get early access, which is basically you being able to schedule yourself a week ahead of time before the regular users, they had 3 requirements. But I'm only going to talk about 2 because there's 2 that changed. I believe that was the customer service rating. So before, your customer service rating, you had to be 4.4 or higher in order for you to have access. Ah, shit. Oh, get it in. Piñata district. She's lit. They give you michelada cups in there. And beer. I think they sell it beer, I can't remember. So that updated to 4.6. Which back then it wasn't a big deal until my ratings dropped below 4.6. And that happened when I started multi-apping, because Uber wouldn't show the drop-off location. So I would accept it, didn't realize I had to go really far away, making me really late for the DoorDash one, which inevitably dropped my ratings. But it used to be 4.4, then went to 4.2, 4.6, and that disabled me from scheduling myself. So after that, I would get all the shitty schedules, basically worthless, where I wasn't able to make money. So my pay was hurt significantly because of that update DoorDash made. So there's the apps are always going to be changing, and you have to be able to adapt quickly in order to keep your momentum going, you know, keep making money. And that's why I think these type of videos are very useful. because every time some update comes out, it's always good to look it up. How does this affect you? Is it positive? Is it negative? Or the pros and cons, all that stuff? People share their experiences, helps you out. Also, I kind of encourage you guys to do these videos, that way I can see how you guys do it and what's helped you and what hasn't, stuff like that. But yeah, these apps are always changing, so keep that in mind. If you're the type of person that likes things to be secure and like always the same, not your business, because this shit is always changing. Always. Speaking on the topic that these apps are always changing, here's another thing about the business that I learned. It's not secure. Every time you come out here, there's no guarantee that it's gonna be busy or there's gonna be any deliveries at all, actually. So you have to keep that in mind, that you're never gonna make the same amount, because you're never gonna have the same amount of business. And that's daily, that's every day. Yeah, with that being said, it's a great idea to, you know, use multiple apps, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. But as far as the security part, you know, you never know if there's gonna be promotions, if there's gonna be like quests or multipliers or all these things, all these incentives that the apps provide to get drivers, to encourage drivers to come out. They'll give you the promotions, but doesn't guarantee that you'll have the business. So that's one huge thing. You know, it's not like a job where you go and they pay you hourly. Like, even if it's slow, as an employee, you still get paid your hourly wage. Doesn't matter if it's busy or not. So that's kind of like the concern of the owners. But here, if it's not busy, it's gonna hurt your pocket. You know, there's no time to chill around, there's no time to hang out. If you're hanging out not working, guess what? You're not making money. So there's no security. These apps can also just terminate you. I know there's people who've been terminated for things that they didn't actually do. One popular one is that when we deliver food, the customer may say that they never received the food just so they can get a refund and still get the food. And the apps don't tell you who did that. But me, it's like I never do that. I always deliver. And if something happens where the customer doesn't come out, I do the steps necessary on the app. So no, I've been hit before with like warnings, but I know what I'm doing. So there's people where it's happened, they might do areas where that type of behavior is more common. So you could just get terminated. And all of this, you know, I guess your source of income just gets cut. So be ready for that. It's not like a job that may have a union and your job's secure. None of that. It's a risk. You never know what's gonna happen. You could come out here for 10 hours and make 10 bucks. It's happened before. A little different, I forgot what the actual number was. But I've come out here and made very little money. And I've, you know, come out here and made a killing, so not secure. It's one thing I've learned. So you gotta be prepared for the slow days. And also, there's a lot of things you could do in slow days, which I'll talk about in other videos. Maximize your time out here. Speaking on the not secure part, here's a huge thing I learned that I regret not learning sooner, or trying at least, or doing, is multi-apping. Huge way to increase your pay. Not only does it increase your pay because you'll be doing multiple rides, which by the way you need to learn how to do efficiently in a timely manner. You have to be able to learn how to pick and choose your rides. That way pick the ones that are headed in the same direction. That way you don't take long. You get them done on time, keep your ratings up, and keep your tips up. But what that does is, like I mentioned before, it's not secure. The app isn't always busy, but when you have multiple platforms that you're using, multiple apps, you double your traffic, you triple your traffic, your potential jobs, you increase it. For example, if I just use Uber, I'm just relying on Uber's business to make money, which could be good or bad. But if I have 2 apps, I double my chances. If I have 3 apps open, I triple my chances, so on, so forth. So that's a few of the upper hands of multi-apping. And if one terminates you, hey, you got a backup for whatever reason. And also, sometimes some are busier in certain areas of certain markets than the other. So if you tried one app and it didn't work out, you shouldn't give up on the gig, economy, on the gigs jobs. You should try other apps. Maybe those are busy in your area. You know, sometimes DoorDash could be popular in this city, but Uber Eats isn't. Here's a good example. Yeah. Caviar, it isn't very busy in downtown LA, but it is busy in Silver Lake. So I wouldn't use Caviar as a primary app here for downtown, but I lived in Silver Lake, I would definitely use that. And I heard it's busy at nights. So different apps, different markets, just try them out. It's a lot of advantages to multi-apping. Most significant one, you make way more money. You make way more money doing multiple apps. I used to feel good about making $100 a day. Right now it's like 225 is my minimum. That's how much I expect to make every time I come out here. And I do that because I multi-app. So like I said, I could make an entire video just on multi-apping, which I plan to in the future. But that's one thing I've learned. That's another thing I've learned about doing deliveries for 2.5 years. Is doing more than one, super beneficial. Learn that skill, and you're basically giving yourself a self-promotion because you'll be making more money. Get good at it. Here's another important thing I've learned, which is huge. You're dealing with food, so you gotta think, what are the times people get hungry, people eat? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Usually when people are at work, away from home, they want to order food. So finding the right schedule to maximize the time you are out. I have a very basic formula that I can make it. I'm going to make an entire video on, but just to break it down very simply is I have 2 hot zones in the day and days in the week that I would always go for. First is lunchtime. Monday through Friday, well, any time of the week, but these hours are critical, especially Monday through Friday. 11 to 2, those 3 hours. You can maybe do 10:30 to 2:30, 10 to 2, but that time, that little slot in the day, crazy for lunch. Very busy. It's the time people eat. They're halfway through their day. They're at work. They're working on a project. That's the time people get hungry. A lot of people skip breakfast. I don't eat breakfast most of the time, so I start getting hungry around this time. It's 1 o'clock. I'm thinking about food right now. Shit, maybe I should order something. Then it starts getting busy again from 5 to 9, or like 5 to 8:30. That's basically every single day, but some days are busier than others. Weekends are busy. Saturdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, those are busy. Sometimes Mondays are busy, you know? So if you're gonna do this part-time, pick either lunchtime or dinner time, one of the two. Do 4 hours a day, but pick between those hours of lunchtime or dinner time. You'll make good money. If you want to pick a few days out of the week, work Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Those days are very busy, but this changes depending on markets. But if I had to work in a new city that I never worked before, it'd be the first time, I will definitely go to a big downtown metro area and work those days in those hours. Full-time, obviously, if you want to do full-time, you work lunchtime and dinner time and Monday through Friday, or Thursday through Sunday. You work 4 or 5 days a week. Money. But the scheduling is important. Before, I would just kind of just turn the app at any time. I really had no strategy, and I wouldn't get the results I wanted until I started scheduling. I started figuring out the hours that are the busiest. I mean, these hours are now, they're kind of like common sense to me, but honestly, before I didn't even know. I had no idea. I thought breakfast was busy. I thought maybe, you know, just awkward hours. I was like, but I was wrong. Now I know the good schedules. And yeah, so figuring out the scheduling, you'll be out here making, you'll be making the most money for the time you're out here, for your effort. Huge, very important. Here's one. I know that riding a bike has its pros and cons, and so does a car. That has its pros and cons. I'm gonna talk more about why I think it's good doing it on a bike and why it isn't, and how I believe it might compare to a car. Because I really haven't done deliveries in a car, but hearing from what people have told me and from observations, this is why I think riding a bike is beneficial, especially in these type of areas, metro downtown LA areas. One is, well, your expenses. That right there, hands down. If you ride a bike like this, the maintenance is very low. The cost to get started is low. You can buy probably a bike, a used bike from someone for under $100, and you go out to start making money right away. Versus a car, you gotta save a few thousand. Then you gotta get insurance, you gotta put gas in it. There's also maintenance. There's tickets, because if you're doing this, you're at high risk for getting tickets. That's one thing, and then the other is traffic. You know, they do give you further distances when you have a car, but then if you get stuck in traffic, the pay for time and distance is not enough to be worth it waiting in traffic. So with a bike, you don't have to worry about traffic. You just gotta worry about getting hit. You get hit, that's it. That's one of the cons for cycling. You don't have no protection versus a car. But it's definitely low cost. Feels good, you're working out. That's nice. All here pumping the heart, moving the lungs, strengthening the legs, inhaling all the smog. But you know,
Yeah, I think so.
everyone does. So and then I think you can make more money on a bike because, what's up, man? Well, look, let's say we're both making $200 a day, right? My expenses are gonna be way lower than the person driving. I usually ride around 60 to 80 miles a day. So how much is that in gas? 60 miles, let's see, an average car does about 20 miles a gallon. 20, that's 4 gallons. Let's say the average tank is about $4 a gallon. 4 times 4, that's $16. So you deduct the $16 from the 200 minus their car payment, insurance. So you deduct that. Let's say it's 300 car payment, $200 insurance. It's 500. Divide 500 by 30 days. I've actually never done these numbers before, but I'm gonna do them right now. Let's see. The one I really want to know, let's say 500. I'm just kind of throwing a general number out there too. 500 divided by 3, that's another $16, so $32 deducted. Plus there's maintenance costs and tickets that I don't even want to get to. That varies. But right off the bat, off of this 200, then there's food, but we both buy food, so that doesn't really, I don't want to really apply that. So out of 200, let's say we both make it 200 a day. Off the bat, if you have a car, minus $32 deductions. So after expenses, your total profit is going to be 168 versus 200. My expenses, I might get what are my daily expenses? I have none. Food, that's it. Unless I get a flat tire, which is kind of rare. I'll talk more about how I managed to keep that low in a bit. But yeah, that's one thing I learned, man. Cycling is the best way to do these deliveries. If I did it on something that had to do a mortar, I'll probably go for like an e-bike with something with long range. That would be cool. I could probably increase my speed for deliveries, and I won't be as tired. Or I won't waste as much energy. I don't really feel tired. It's more emotional. Mental. Wow, she's so cute. But yeah, guys. So that's one thing I learned from my observation from car versus bike. Pick up some food here. All right. Got this food. It's not too far. Thankfully. DoorDash is slowing down on me. No bueno. But the good thing is that I got a pretty good amount because of those deliveries from earlier. Let's do this. Alright, know where this is at. Cool. So here's another one. I was talking about expenses right now. So I invested in I used to carry around a spare tubes and a pump, which was a little heavy and took up space in my backpack. But I noticed that it was rare when I would get a flat, and usually when I did get a flat, I would just take it to a local bike shop, which they're nearby. And with this backpack that I have, I can actually strap my backpack on and jump on one of those electric scooters and just ride my ass to a bike shop, get my flat fixed. So I just decided to not carry a tube and a pump, and I just invested in some puncture protection tires. So they're basically just real thick from the bottom, so that if things pierce it doesn't get all the way to the tube, causing you to get a flat. Now they're not flat proof. You'll still get a flat. I've still gotten a couple flats, but the amount of flats I've gotten have significantly dropped, that I just don't even think about getting a flat anymore. Occasionally I check my tire pressure and put some air in it, but flats, Like it's like rare, very rare. Also, you know, you gotta be a little careful about the terrain you run right through. Try to avoid glass. I try to avoid those streets or areas where there's not much cars that drive through it. You know, the ones that gather up a lot of debris. You avoid those because that's where there's a lot of sharp things that can go through your tire, causing a flat. So I invested in some tire proof, some flat, so puncture proof, puncture. God damn, I can't say that. Puncture protection. There you go. Jesus. And they weren't even expensive. They're like 25 bucks each. I got mine at Felipe's bike shop. If I remember, I'll put a link in their bike shops right here in downtown. And they've been a good investment so far, man. Like I've been avoiding, like, I avoid carrying the patch, the pump and the spare, which adds on weight. I don't like carrying shit in my backpack, you know. I like my backpack to be lightweight, because you mean more weight on your backpack, more pressure on your ass, more weight, you know, that you put on the seat, on the saddle, because you're carrying a lot of weight. So it's more comfortable. So these tires are really dope. I think they're worth the investment. But that's something that I definitely learned, and I would always look for if I decide to get another bike or new tires. Just make sure they have that puncture protection. So I definitely recommend that. I'll see if I'll look up some links for tires. See I'll put the ones that I have. They got a little reflector on the sides, like a little stripe, which is cool for night. People can see your ass at night. They'll see your tires. You know, avoid being hit because you get seen at night. But yeah, some puncture protection tires. Huge investment for your bike. Well, here's a big tip that I got once, and I was like, wow, this really solved the whole spillage problem. Like an example, like earlier, I had those 13 drinks. If it weren't for Scotch tape, I would have not done that delivery. But knowing that I can just put a little tape on the lids and the openings and nothing will spill, you know, as long as like I'll keep my backpack flat, leveled, and I, you know, avoid shaking so much, like the drinks are gonna be fine. And I secure them in the backpack. The Scotch tape solves spilling drinks when they're in your backpack or maybe on some boxes. It's a huge and a very inexpensive tool you can buy to just patch those holes on the cups and keep the drinks down. So Scotch tape, carry some Scotch tape with you. You know, get one of those little rolls, just have it in your backpack. Shit, keep it in your pocket so it's easily accessible. You tape these drinks down. I have a video where I talk about how to carry drinks and food. If you guys haven't checked it out, you guys can see that video where I, you know, talk a little bit more about how to carry drinks and stuff. But huge tip. That's something big I learned. And that's like because a lot of people are discouraged to carry drinks because they're afraid of spillage. Scotch tape. Try it out. You're welcome. So there's one thing that people have pointed out, or they asked. It's like, how am I? Well, first, a lot of people think I have a knee bike. I think there's a few reasons for that. One, it looks like I'm riding really fast, which it looks like that because of the GoPro. Believe it or not, since I have it's like a wide angle lens. So because of the wide angle lens, everything looks like more dramatic. But check it out. I don't know if you guys can see the speedometer. But so what I recommend is find a pace you're comfortable with. And I'm not talking really fast, you know, because you'll burn yourself out. Find a good pace that you're comfortable with. and stick to it. Stick to it throughout your day. Some days you may have more energy than others. On the days you have more energy, maybe you can ride a little faster, keep up a faster pace. But find a good pace that you're comfortable with for the day and just stick to it. Like right now, look, I'm riding 12 miles an hour, 13, 12, 13, about 12, 13. Yeah, I'm not riding too fast. You know, I'm just slowly heading back to downtown LA. Well, I'm already here, but you know, heading back to the hot zone. Also, gears, you know, learn to use your gears if you have a bike with gears. And like I said, stick to your pace. That's gonna enable you to last longer out here in the day. Don't try to burn yourself out. You're really not getting there any faster if you ride really fast, like speed-wise, because you're still gonna have your stops. I ride alongside of a lot of cyclists who pass by me really quick, and guess what? Almost all the time I run into them again up ahead. So it's like all that energy was useless if you're just always gonna be stopping at lights and shit. Sometimes I speed up when there's a red light coming. That makes more sense because you pass the light and you save yourself a minute. But I just kind of used up a little energy just to pass the light. So, you know, learning to keep that pace throughout your day, you're gonna realize how much that's more beneficial for you to be out here longer and have more energy throughout the day. The longer you're out here, the more money you're gonna make. So find a pace, stick to it, you'll be all right. Here's another tool that that I find so beneficial in this type of business. One of the things that have been so helpful for me is a big battery pack. Like right now I have a 20,000 milliamp battery that I don't think has ever died on me actually. And the reason why I need such a big battery, maybe the battery size you guys need is not like not as much as this, but you know, I need it because I have my phone. I'm out here a long time. I usually leave my phone on the screen for navigation and stuff. Also to power the GoPro. Also just in case I need to like charge up any of my lights or my Bluetooth, stuff like that. It's like everything I have is essential. It's so important, and one of those things don't have battery, my day gets a little thrown off, which I like to avoid, and that's avoided with preparation. So invest in a good battery. I would say find out how much milliamps your battery has. For example, if it's 3,500, I would say get a battery, external battery that has 3 times that amount. So how much is that? 10,500, right? That way you could charge it 3 times. That should be more than enough for your day. But definitely something that has become very important and useful for me. Something that I recommend you guys get, since you know you're gonna be on your phone, and without your phone you can't make money. That or carry your charger with you, but that means you're just gonna be stuck somewhere when you're gonna be stuck somewhere and not delivering, so you're not gonna be making money. So one thing I do is I keep the battery in my pocket, like right here, and I have the cable with me, so I just run the cable to my phone. So I do that on the go. That way I don't have to worry about being plugged up to the wall, you know, which is important. So I'm always out here making money, charging my phone. Whew. All right, I'm going to Chipotle right now. Gotta go up these damn hills and shit. Man, using my gears though. I'm trying to burn myself out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Gotta go to Chipotle and drop off going that way. $8, almost $9 for this delivery. Not bad, not bad. Here's one more thing. You know, I've seen people's tires, back or front tire get stolen. Like I always just see a bike with a tire locked in with a U-lock, but the tire's missing. And I've seen that happen, man. Some people just steal your rim. They could, you know, some rims are expensive, man. Like I bought my back rim for like $110. And it was only because of the spokes. The spokes kept breaking off. So I had to get another bike. Those are those rare expenses you have to do once in a while. But you know, my bike is legit now. But I don't have those traditional quick release on my bike, because I feel like if I have that, then my tire will be very easy to steal. My tires, yeah, and my wheels. So I bought this different one that it's like it has a key. So if I get a flat or something, I want to remove my tire and change it with another tube, I need the key. There's a specific key that you need to unlock the tire. So what that does is it prevents people from stealing my wheels when I got it locked. Because I only locked the frame. I don't know if you guys noticed. I only locked the frame up because I know my wheels are secure. Some people carry 2 U-locks. That works too, but you know, to me it's like it's more weight. I gotta worry about weight because I ride all day. Also, people bring the little steel wire, lock their front tire with their U-lock. That's also a good idea too, but that just takes more time. And you gotta carry the wire around. But these locks are perfect. It's a key. I have the key with me. It's a little one. It's with my tools. I always have it with me. That solves that problem. So you get more peace of mind. You won't come back one day and your damn wheel's missing. Little tip there. Something you might want to consider. Here's another one that, here's one thing I learned too. This one kind of breaks down to, with conserving energy. So see right now I rode up to a hill. Chipotle was on top of a hill. There's a few streets I could have taken to get up here. I chose the longer route, but the streets with that are not as steep, because I feel like the steeper the hill, the more energy you're gonna waste trying to get to the top. So you always want to like, excuse me. Well, this is gonna happen over time. You're gonna get to know your area a little better. You're gonna know your roads, your shortcuts, your long cuts that are with less hills, and all that can add up to using less energy. Like there's another shortcuts that I know in downtown LA, and they're huge because LA has a bunch of hills, sometimes really steep ones. So it's good to know your escalators. Like there's a few escalators that are inside business buildings, some of those skyscrapers that you can actually access. They're open during business hours. Stuff like that. Also, like, how can I explain this? Hold on, let's see. So I always have to make my way back to downtown LA. And I've learned the streets that have the least amount of hills to get back, which is important because that also saves saves you energy. But yeah, little things like that as far as the terrain. But like I said, you're gonna learn that through experience. Once you start knowing your area a little more. That's why it's good to pick an area you're familiar with to get around better. And here's one huge thing. So far, this is all I have in my notes. Save the best for last. But yeah, I might think of other shit later. But so far, I've knocked down everything on my list, and this is the last one. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned from food deliveries, and that is the potential money you can make. Like how much money you can make. When I first started doing this, and if you were to tell me that one day you'll make $1,500 in 1 week, I would think you're fucking crazy. I'd be like, no way, man. That's like not possible. On a bike? Are we talking about a car? So that is definitely possible. I've done it before. That's why I know it's possible. And that's when it kind of opened my eyes. Every time I push myself a little more, and I hit these milestones, I just realized how much money you can make. So I feel like the more I learn, the more I get good at everything I've kind of talked about. The better you get at this, the more money you're gonna make. Like that's just like anything else. You get better at something, you make more money. It's cool because I literally put everything I learned into these videos. So if you watch these videos and put it, so the things that I learned into practice, you could definitely start making more money for yourself, like almost immediately. It might take a little practice, but these are all things that have helped me. Maybe things might be a little different for you because you might be in a different city, different weather, different markets, different apps, but generally the same thing. Right now I'm working at an average $225 per day, $1,000 a week, and I don't always work the whole week. So the potential in making money, it's ridiculous. There's so much potential, so much like flexibility, and how you can make the money. It's insane. So that's definitely one huge thing I learned. I've gotten to a point where I don't want to work a traditional job, not unless they're gonna guarantee me 30 bucks an hour. But even then I might not do it because I'll be locked into like a job, like I'll have bosses and shit. It's a little different. I have higher expectations now. Let me do this delivery. All right, so definitely a big thing I've learned. And then you know what? It's good to hear. I met a lot of you guys, and you guys tell me how you guys just got started. One particular guy, I met him inside of what was it? Jersey Mike's. Shout out to Matthew. He's been doing it about a month, and he's been like pushing it. And he says he's been watching the videos, so he gets a lot of tips. And he's already making like 150 a day, 150 with one app. He hasn't even got into multi-apping yet. I'm like, dang, it took me 2.5 years to get where you're at, and it took you 1 month. So that's the huge thing about being able to just find all these videos online that help you get all this information. So it's one of the reasons why I like doing them. So you can get all the tools and information you need to make really good money. So that's one thing I learned, putting it all into these videos. Trying to be more organized with them. I know I put a lot of random shit all over the place. These videos are long, but for those of you that actually watch it, first of all, thank you. And second, yeah, just be patient. I'm gonna come out with some shorter videos, but that's all in the works. Maybe a little editing and stuff like that. But I like these unedited videos. I think if I do make edited videos, I would always post the long unedited ones. For those who like to watch just everything, you know, unedited, the raw footage, I won't stop doing that. That's the one I enjoy. That's how I started. That's how I plan on keeping it. But there's some edited stuff, you know, for people who just want to get to the important stuff right away. Don't have much time. But yeah. So the amount of money you make, huge potential in this business. That's it for the what I learned. If I come up with more things, I'm gonna put them in the video. But let me give you guys a breakdown of where I'm at. I got 60 bucks with DoorDash and 17 with Uber Eats. So I'm at what is that? 78. And it's 2 o'clock, barely 2 o'clock. I plan on being out here till like 8 o'clock. So I'm like, be here since what, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, be here 4 hours. 4 hours, that's like almost 20 bucks an hour, right? Or am I fucking up my math? Probably fucking up my math. I think so, am I? Well, whatever, either way, I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6 hours left. I've worked 4, so I'm not even halfway yet. Nice. Cool. Okay, man, the day's like not even halfway and it's already been very eventful. Like, cool stuff has happened. But that's good that I already went through the whole list. I wonder how long the video is. Hopefully it's not too long. I kind of want to end it here and then do the summary, the end of day. But nah. I'm gonna keep recording. Try to keep adding to the list, because I know there's more stuff. Like, see, what else have I learned in the past 2.5 years? After 5,000 rides. You ever go blank? I know there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Just, oh snap, oh snap. No problem. Oh, shit.
Hell no. You're way too far.
This is Walden. Who's got it? He's track standing and carrying the drinks. This was nuts. This guy's track standing and carrying 2 drinks. Sick. That's just beast. So you don't need no cup holders fucking with him. Gotta go with the flow of traffic right here. They're taking off. I'm gonna film a movie, check it out. Got these destroyed cars. Then like a future car right here. Autonomous vehicle. Pretty dope. Oh wait, I'm supposed to go this way.
In between shots.
Looks like some apocalyptic movie. Like end of the world type stuff. Oh, excuse me. I've seen a couple cars that look like they've been destroyed and burnt down. It's pretty cool. Trying to see if I can spot anything else. Alright, let's go. We got all the cranes and stuff, all the stuff to carry the cars. Check it out, they got one car right here. Looks fucking 2 of them. They looked wrecked. I wonder if you guys can tell. But pretty good. All the cables and stuff. Pretty amazing. I wonder what time they're gonna start filming. Most likely tonight when the traffic dies down. Right now it looks like they're just preparing. But I'll probably pass by later once I get more deliveries. It's 6:20. Oh, sorry. You know when you do that little dance, going left, you're going right, you're doing right, left, right. You guys do the dance. You don't know which way to go. Yeah, we just did that right now. Yeah, I'll check up on it later. But check it out. I'm gonna give you guys an update. Got $60 with Uber Eats and 111 with DoorDash. A couple cash tips here and there. Lost track. But 160 plus, not bad. Man, I was waiting for like 30 minutes at this delivery, but I couldn't unassign because I was gonna put me like dangerously low to 95%. When I got there, they didn't even have the order ready. So I waited like 5 minutes just for someone to help me. Then once they placed the order, I waited another 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Like, I don't mind waiting. Well, I do mind waiting, actually. I just lose my mind just being in one place for so long. Just myself. I was there for 30 minutes. I was losing my goddamn mind. I cannot be in one place for too long. It's the ADHD in me. I need to be moving, son. But yeah, that was not fun at all. Well, I actually stacked 2 more orders waiting there so long. I got one right here for another one with DoorDash. And then I got another pickup. Well, I picked one up with Uber Eats right a block, like across the street from the other spot where I was waiting a long time. And I got another pickup in here. And they're all going that direction. So, I mean, at least I'm gonna get paid for like 3 deliveries right now. It's gonna be like almost $20. Which is cool, but not cool. Nice, got a little jog group here. Damn, at nighttime? Sick. Feels good too to be running right now. Would y'all run at night? I would do it. They go out running early though. It's barely gonna be 8. I'm still working at that time. Alright guys, wrapping up my night. I'm gonna give us a little summary. Hit my goal today. Made $73.28. Uber Eats, DoorDash, 130. It's about 203 bucks. Wait, how much is that? Yeah, $203 with some change, and then like some dollar tips, maybe like $4 to $6 in cash. So pretty good day. And also, yeah, like what I've learned after 5,000 deliveries. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you've learned from your writing experience in the comments, and like and subscribe if you guys like to see more. But I'll catch you guys on the next video. Be safe out there, and go out and make that money. Peace.